Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is me, the Tsogofatso, and today's video I'm super excited about. So we're gonna be chatting a little bit about managing your money in your 20s, because I'm 20 something, trying to figure out this whole thing. I'm on a financial journey, trying to make all the right decisions. So I'm just gonna be sharing my thoughts on that. And as usual, I think this should probably be like my slogan or something, because I'm always saying like nothing too serious. It's nothing too serious, guys. We're just having a little chat. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We're on the road to 20k, 20,000 subscribers. That is just so crazy, so mind-blowing. Like, thank you to everyone that has subscribed, and keep on subscribing, guys. We're trying to reach that 20k. But yeah, guys, and in the comment section, let's continue the conversation. Share kind of like how you're managing your money, mistakes you've made maybe, or things that you're doing right. Let's have a little chat in the comment section. And yeah, let's get started with the video. Guys, so I started working in 2017 December, straight after high school, and I was working at a mall and I made a little bit of money. And I guess my thoughts at that time was like, I've made money, now it's time to spend it. Like, whatever money I made, I just need to spend it. And I think a lot of people think that way because we're never really taught to like think about things. But I'm not gonna go too deep into that today. But yeah, so my thoughts were kind of like, okay, I've made some money, now it's time to spend it. And that's kind of the process. Whenever I made some money, time to spend it. And I think my kind of like mindset kind of changed in 2020. So 2020, I was doing a whole lot of jobs, guys. I'm a hustler. But 2020, I was working as a web developer and a graphic designer during the whole pandemic. And I was also doing some typing and stuff like that, so I was making some money. But I was like, also it was a pandemic and I was trying to spend that money like online shopping, but I'm like, let me start thinking about other things. That's actually when I started investing. So that's when I kind of realized like, oh, okay, so when I make this money, I'm not just supposed to spend it, I'm supposed to think about other things. So kind of fast forward to where I'm at right now. I absolutely love to budget. I'm such a huge fan of budgeting. I feel like it just makes my life so much easier. But I think budgeting is so personal, guys, because it's like we all have so many different goals and priorities that I think it's so important just to kind of, because they always say that if you don't tell your money where to go or allocate it, then you're always asking yourself like, where did my money go? But now if you have a plan, so I think, once again, guys, we're just having a little chat. So I think it's kind of like thinking of your priorities, because there's so many different budgeting strategies and so on. So for example, one of the first ones I learned about was the 50-30-20, which means 50% goes to your needs, 30% to your wants, and then 20% to your savings. So I was like, okay, this because I like to be told what to do, because like when I have to think about things for myself, I'm always so stressed and I'm like, oh, I don't know. So now this was like, okay, this is easy, 50-30-20. But I realized that didn't really work for me, because I still live at home and I don't own a car at the moment. So I feel like I don't need to use 50% of my income on my needs, because that's not where I'm at the moment. So what I've learned about budgeting, that it's so personal. So you kind of need to, like, you can use those kind of things to kind of guide you. Like, for example, if you've moved out or something, you can use that and see like, okay, this is kind of like how my things should look and so on. And guys, please note, nothing I say in this video is financial advice. This is just me chatting about my financial journey. But yeah, so you kind of just need to find something that works for you. And I feel like for now, I've kind of figured that out. I'm trying to kind of save and invest as much as possible while I'm still living at home and I don't like own a car and I don't have not too many expenses. So yeah, I'm trying to kind of save and invest, which brings me to the next thing, saving and investing, guys. It's so important. And I think the main thing with that is to kind of have a goal or to know your priorities, because it was so hard for me at the beginning, because I'm like, why am I putting all this money away? Like, I'm 20 something, I'm just trying to live life, like, why do I need to be saving and investing when I'm living life right now? But as soon as you kind of like set your goals or realize your priorities, it makes it so much easier. For example, if you're saying like, okay, I'm trying to retire or reach financial freedom at a certain age, then you're like, oh, to get to that goal, I actually need to actually be putting money away for me to get there. So like, because that's my goal right now. So I'm like, oh, okay, I have a goal, so this is my priority. I'm like, I need to put away a certain percentage because I'm trying to reach a certain thing. But if you don't have like a goal or a certain thing you're trying to reach, it makes it so hard, because you're like, why? Like, what's the point? So it's so important to set goals and to prioritize certain things. So that's how you actually kind of figure out, like, okay, this is how much I should be saving, this is how much I should be spending. And yeah, so I'm kind of like in a phase like, okay, I'm trying to retire at a certain age. I need to be putting away a certain amount of money and investing, because, you know, saving is good, but also investing could bring you like higher returns and so on. So there's also that. And also, for example, there's like things that you should be saving for example, like an emergency fund, because things can happen like anytime. For example, I'm trying to think of something, but like, you know, if I have some type of emergency, I just can't think of an example at the moment, but you know, I need to have some money aside in case, because I'm trying to think about like the examples I'm thinking about. It's like, oh, if your car breaks down or something, but I don't own a car at the moment. But like something, let's say my camera breaks and I need to fix it. I need to have some money aside that's there so that it doesn't like inconvenience me. It's money there for that purpose, for an emergency, that, you know, it's readily available. And that's the other thing, guys. But I think I'll get deeper into those things in other videos. If you want me to get deeper, do leave a comment in the comment section. But yeah, just to have an emergency fund so that I know that, okay, my emergencies are covered. I don't have to stress about it or have to go like borrow money or something like that. And also saving for retirement, because as soon as I started working, shout out to actually Mapalo Maku for her book, I'm Not Broke, I'm Pre-Rich. I always get it like kind of mixed up, but it's something like that. I'll leave my review and the link to the book in the description. Like, that book just changed my mind, so huge shout out to her. But in that, like, before I read that book, I never thought I had to save for retirement, because I was like, I'm 20 something, like, why do I need to think about when I'm 65? I actually almost skipped that chapter in that book, but then I read it and it just like blew my mind, because it's like, guys, we're not trying to work until we're 65, but even if we work until we're 65, we're trying to make sure that after that we're good. So as soon as I started working my full-time job March last year, I was like, retirement, I need to make sure this is sorted. So I got that sorted, and when I was chatting to the financial advisor, they're actually like, wow, people your age don't actually, you know, prioritize, you know, their retirement or something. So guys, it's so important, like guys, I don't even know how to say it, but it's so important, which kind of I always feel like I was saying a lot of things. But also, one thing I've also learned is how important it is to kind of like ask for help or to kind of educate yourself. Like, as I mentioned, I did, you know, get in touch with a financial advisor. I know like Old Mutual and Discovery give you access to like free financial advisors. They're probably trying to sell you their services, you know, here and there, but they all are also like willing to help you. They give you so much information that is so helpful. And for example, even stuff like just reading books. As I mentioned, I read that book by Mapalo Maku, and it just like, I just learned so much. I think also like being in your 20s, you kind of need to be open to, like, there's a lot of things we don't know, so try to educate yourself as much as possible with, for example, financial advisors. Hear what they're saying, telling you about retirement, about you know, all these life policies, about savings, about investments. Like, there's so many things that you probably don't know, or you might know and not have a clear understanding of, or, you know, they just help you out so much, and they give you so much information. So I just think, just be open to learning, but also like, just from anywhere, actually, just like from books, from YouTube. I follow so many like financial accounts on Twitter, because I spend a whole lot of time on there. But we're not talking about that today. But like on Twitter, I follow so many like people that I feel like just know way more than me. You know, I think it's very important that they say, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably in the wrong room. You know, so just try to surround yourself with people that actually know a bit more than you, or just make an effort to learn, because there's so much. Like, so as I'm like, kind of the things I've mentioned so far, like emergency fund, try to educate yourself on that. Why is it important? How much should you try to have, and so on. and stuff like for example, just another example, tax-free savings account. Like, what is that? How does it work? And just reading, there's so many books on finances, so that could really help you out just to kind of figure things out and navigate the way. But yeah, so back to kind of like budgeting. I just think budgeting is so important, just as I mentioned, to tell your money where to go, so that you know that, okay, you know, I'm not overspending on a certain thing. And like, especially when you're working a job like myself, or you're like getting income, you don't want that all that money to come to you and you don't have a plan, because you're just gonna be like, I'm so rich, I'm gonna spend this. You know. But if you already have a plan, you're like, okay, this money is for this is for that, and so on. And also with kind of in the same like group, I'd say, as budgeting, is kind of tracking where your money is going, because sometimes, you know, you're like, I spent a little bit of money this month. Like, how did that happen? And you kind of see like, oh, okay, maybe I spent way too much on data, you know, maybe I ate out too much or something like that, and kind of like adjust that. And that could also help you with your budgeting, like, oh, okay, maybe I wasn't realistic about a certain thing, and so on. It's just, guys, sometimes it's trial and error. Just take some time and educate yourself. There's so many resources out there, but that's kind of what's been working for me, kind of like playing around with the numbers, seeing how I did, what I can change, what I can do better, what I did right, what I did wrong, and so on. Yeah, and I guess also like one of my priorities right now, as I mentioned, I am living at home. I don't own a car or something, so I'm really trying to save and invest as much as possible when I'm still young in my 20s, because compound interest, you know. So also that, guys, I feel like I started my investment journey, I'd say my saving and investment journey, in 2020, and I didn't really know what I was doing at that time. Like, I feel like I've come such a long way, but every single day I'm still learning something new. So I think just always be open to learning and take time to learn, and just make an effort to do these things, because I make an effort to save and invest every month, because I'm like, you know, I'm here at home because I work from home, so I don't spend money on like transport to go to work, and I don't have to like pay rent or a bond or something, because I live at home with my parents. And also, I don't own a car, so I don't have to pay like insurance, and I don't have to pay like the car and petrol and so on. So it's all about, now I'm just trying to push my investments and savings. I've done a couple of videos on investing and saving. I haven't done a lot of those lately, because I'm kind of like in my learning phase, because I'm like, whoa, a girl got a lot to learn. You know. So as soon as I feel like, okay, I've got some info for you guys, I'll bring it out there. But yeah, so I think 20s, you should also kind of be focused on that, you know, because we are trying to live life, but we also want to be living a good life in like a couple of years time. So we need to think about now, but also need to think about the future, which brings me to living life, because my vibe right now is living life. I'm just trying to live my best life and enjoy. So I feel like even though you're trying to be like financially savvy, you're trying to be like make all the right decisions, you need to live life as well. So I think it also comes to like budgeting. If you're trying to, for example, go on vacay or buy yourself something nice, that's possible. I'm not saying like don't do any of those things, but I think it's just important to like budget for those things or plan for those things, not just like, oh, I just got paid, I'm getting myself new shoes. You know, guys, I've been so obsessed with sneakers lately. But like, it's kind of like saying, okay, this is what I like. I really like sneakers, but I'm not just gonna like swipe every time I see a pair I like. It's kind of like, okay, here's my plan. Maybe I'm gonna save like for 3 months so I can get a pair that I want, or kind of just budgeting, guys. Budget. That's all this video is about. Jokes. But yeah, I feel like, you know, we're living life and we're young, we're figuring things out, so there's so much to learn. There's like budgeting, saving, investing, and we're trying to just figure things out. But it's so important, guys. There's so many resources that are available to us to kind of, you know, learn more about these things. So I think it's so important for us to make use of them. And I'm not saying I'm doing all the right things. I might come back here like a couple months later, I'm like, maybe I wasn't right about something. But yeah, guys, I'm really trying my best to like make all the right decisions and kind of like, you know, reach my first million. Like, so I'm still on that journey to reach my first million. As soon as I get there, you guys already know, title of the video, I am a millionaire or something, like I've made my first million or something. But yeah guys, we're trying to push, we're trying to, you know, reach that financial freedom. We're working hard, we're hustling, we're pushing, and we're managing our money in our 20s. We're trying. But yeah guys, I'd love to kind of hear from you guys about where you guys are at, how you're managing your money, what's working for you, any mistakes if you're maybe older, kind of like mistakes you made in your 20s, what you wouldn't do, or just even if you are in your 20s, like if mistakes that you've made and things that you would change, or what's been working for you, anything like that, please do share in the comment section. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please do give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe guys, subscribe. Road to 20k. And that is it for today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.